But
Okay, so next up would be the snowboarding. I love the snowboarding stage in this, but with the emulator, there's a bit of lag. So whenever I jump, I kept falling back into the pit. And only later on did I figure out that if I hold the jump button when I jump, KO would do the spin move that helps him glide a little bit while jumping to the next pipe to grind on while snowboarding. And this helped me up a lot in this game because I assume I just tap the jump button once in this snowboarding level on top of these lava pits with pipes to grind on. I assume you just tap the jump button once, get to the other side, but no, tapping once is not enough to get you to the other side. You gotta hold the jump button, which will get KO to spin and do some 360 moves, and then somehow manage to get to the other side just in the nick of time because it's very, very close. You can easily just fall off if you don't get this every single time when jumping at the right point on these pipes. So that screwed me up a bit. It wasn't as bad as the next thing. And the next thing was the ice pillows on not ice stalagmites, ice stalagmites. So hanging from the cave. That one screwed me up a bit because, like I said, my emulator has some lag to it. And whenever I shoot more than 2 bullets or snow cannon snowballs, my emulator starts lagging, and I cannot tell if I made enough moves in order to get to the other side. Because when shooting down these stalagmites, you gotta shoot 5 of them on each pillow in order to knock them down. And the thing is, each of these stalagmite pillows, they need 5, but you gotta time them just perfectly, or else all of them will sink into the ocean before the time you get across all 5 of the stalagmites. So you got 5 stalagmites, you gotta shoot down exactly at the same time, while shooting 5 at each piece, while with a bit of lag from the emulator, and then you gotta make sure you get to the other side before every single piece sinks. And for me, I did this like 5 or 6 times before getting it correct, and every single time before then, the middle stalagmite will always be the one that sinks in first, and because of that, I couldn't get to the other side to get to the 4th and 5th stalagmites, because stalagmite number 3 was the one who fell in and sunk first. And from that, I eventually figured out that if I be patient with it and avoid the lag by just shooting one stalagmite, one snowball at each of the stalagmites once in a row, and then once in a row again, and once in a row again, until I get to 5, and just go down the row, then I can easily just platform it like no business. But I was not patient enough to do that because I was so pissed off by the lag. But I eventually did that, and I made it no problem. So you just gotta remember, if you play on the emulator, just be patient with this game. If you plan on playing this on an emulator. But if I was playing this on a PS2, I likely would not have had the same exact problem, because this was a lag problem, not necessarily a me problem with this game. And then the next thing, the last thing I had a problem with in the winter level was this running mission. We gotta run while all these things cave in behind you. That one I had a problem with because I couldn't jump at the right time to avoid falling into the pits. But eventually I figured out the correct timing, and I figured out I had to roll in order to get, out of the pits in time. But for the longest period of time, well, not too long, it was only like 3 deaths until I got it correct. But it took me a little while to get the hang of rolling out of the pit and then jumping onto the stable ice instead of falling into the unstable ice for that one. But yeah, that's all my complaints about the winter level and KO round 2. What about you?
well, going to the ice levels. To me, I had no issues whatsoever with them. The ice skating mechanics and physics, to me, like I said at the beginning of this debate thingy, were had an odd physics to it and a physics momentum to it, but I got used to it. The controls to me were very easy to learn. Again, on at least on the keyboard, I don't know how it felt on the controller, but Yeah, I pretty much had a smooth time with the physics. As for that puzzle you were on about the pillars, I just counted the amount of corns that need to be tossed at it for them to fall. So and it was 5. So I just tossed 4 at each one of them, and then I just tossed the last one to I just tossed the last one individually to the tossed the last one individually to each pillar. And that's how I did it on my second attempt. It did not. I did not have any legs, so. Uh, I died a bunch of times on the snowboarding level, not because of bad challenging level design. I just skipped a lot of coins because of the
So you
speed of
didn't
the
have a
game.
problem with the jumps? Because for me, I had a problem with the jumps because every time I jumped, I just couldn't make it on time. But eventually, I figured out if I hold the button long enough, I would make it to the other side. Was that a problem for you? Or did you?
Nah, not really. I don't. I did not have any issues with my jumps in any part of the game. Actually, no. On the rail section of the snowboarding levels,
Did you just
on the
backtrack
ice
because you
level.
had flashbacks to the Pelican?
No, 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 no. I did not backtrack. I did not backtrack any level.
No,
I
I'm
did not
saying,
I did
did
not
you
play this game
backtrack
so.
and what you just were just like thinking about and just melded about the Pelican and say, oh no, I hate the jumps with the Pelican?
No, 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 no. I did not say any pelican. I said I said that the only time I had issues with the jump was on the snowboarding level, on the ice level,
So you had no problems
because
with the
when you're on the
Pelicans. You
rails.
had no problem with the
No, no.
Pelican. None.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that
That Pelican, the one that
pelican. Yeah,
flies.
I'll
You like that one?
I'll get to that I'll get to that. I'll get to that later. I'm trying to just say my issue
I know, but
with the
that
game. One
counts as a
thing at a
jumping
time.
problem. I'm just saying.
One thing at a time. But yeah, that railing part on the ice level to me was a pain in the ass because you had this. There is this one section where you have to jump on the exact tip of the end of the rail to avoid falling to the molten lava. I don't know why, but that thing to me was so poorly designed because I jumped at the tip, yet Cow did not have enough height to reach the railing, so I ended up falling to my death a bunch of times. So basically, you have to jump at the tip, but not at the tip at the same time. It's like the beginning of the tip, if that
Yeah, I guess it makes
makes any
sense.
sense. Also, regarding the pelican, I was saving that for the part where we talk about
The temple, yeah.
that level,
Temple level.
the temple level. But since you brought it up, I guess I can speak it. There is this
Yeah,
one
let's just
part where you
skip the
control
underwater
another
level.
animal.
Let's just skip that one. We don't need to talk about the underwater
Yeah,
level.
the well now that you talk about the pelican, I feel like I have to address it. I
Okay,
don't
I
like
guess.
leaving
Yeah.
things unattended. You control another thing besides a snowboard, which is this pelican dude on the temple level. And if I had to compare it to anything else, well, you know how in Jack and Daxter, like the first game, you have like this blue ostrich like bird that you can control, that Jack can control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember it
Yeah.
or if you played Jack one. Well, I compare it to that, and I think that thing is shit. The mechanic for that bird is pretty much fucked. For him to turn, he has to do like a U-turn. He can't just turn back. He has to go around right or left to turn back. And basically, his jump, the way he moves, like you have to you have to mash the jump button for him to flap his wings to stay up. But he has a time limit. But but that
Not a time
the
limit.
guy
You
doesn't
only
move
get 5
forward.
flaps. Max. That's all you get. So you gotta.
Yeah,
You only can push the
you
button
have a
5
limit.
times and he's done.
Yeah, yeah, but there's the thing. The guy doesn't move forward.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't move forward when you're in the air. You have to you have to do this momentum like thingy for him to for him to like move forward in the map. And that thing really threw me off. It was not rage-inducing, but it's worth pointing out. I hate him. He was such a bitch to control, and it didn't help with that with that thing with that blue thing that was on the sky that you had to catch for him to stay on the air. That thing did not make any sense. It did not make the game any better. It was it was it was awful. I hate it. I guess that's the only part I hate about the game.
Here's the thing, though.
The,
I both hate it and like it. I think it had potential, but the potential wasn't there yet in the game. Because the force jump, I absolutely hated trying to flap with the pelican guy. But then after that jump, when I had to jump on those smaller platforms, I was fine with it. I actually kind of liked it. You know, jumping around these platforms with the pelican, I liked it. Kind of. But then when those big gaps are in between, I hated it because I kept falling down to my death every single time. And about the checkpoint thing with the bell, that same problem happened here too, because there's two giant big gaps, one at the start and then one all the way at the end, that you have to jump over before you get to the bell. So if you fall into the giant pit at the end of the stage, it takes about like 3 minutes to get to, maybe 4, 5, 6 at max to get to. If you get there and then you fall to your death, now you gotta backtrack 6 minutes to that last checkpoint bell to, you know, jump over the big gap again for the first jump, and to walk your way all the way around the track, and then get to the final giant pit, and then jump that one again. And if you fall in that giant pit again, you go back to that bell over and over again. I think I went through that loop like 4 times in this recording session. 4 times, and I finally got past it, and then everything was peachy. I got past everything no problem with the pelican. But those first 2 big gaps, they screwed me up a lot. But eventually I figured out how to use the pelican to the best of his abilities, and I got used to it. It was pretty... It's good, but it's bad at the same time. It has potential. I can see it. It could be fun. But the thing is, they didn't do it that well with the programming. I think it would have been better if there was like some kind of a speed boost ability with the flapping. So, with a bonus to your 5 flaps with the 1 button, I think it's the X button. Yeah, the X button. You flap it 5 times and then you're done. But there's also like maybe say the square button is a speed boost, where you get to boost forward a bit, maybe 2 or 3 times. And then there'll be separate icons for both. So you got to boost 3 times forward with the square button, while also, you know, flapping 5 times with the X button. That would be a better improvement to the mechanic, and there'll be no problems with this. No problems with this flapping pelican thing. But as it stands, it's a great concept, but done very, very poorly in this game.
I suppose the game, the pelican, once you get used to his control scheme and shit, it becomes fun.
Yeah, kind of.
But I personally didn't like it. I'm sorry. I don't find them intuitive or interesting to control. That's the only part I despise.